Coming up, hear why a group spent Monday night's Chiefs game in protest of the team.
Also, learn how a new bar on KU's campus is looking to increase community engagement.
And later, a new coffee shop on 23rd Street is booming in its first month of business.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Welcome to KUJH News. I'm Carol Lyons.
And I'm Francesca Onofrio. A video of KU instructor has gone viral on X. Let's take a look.
There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
When the clip was first made public on Wednesday, it was trending in the top 25 nationwide. According to a statement from KU, instructor Phil Lowcock had intentions of emphasizing his advocacy for women's rights and equality during his lecture in Budig. The news spread quickly over social media and across campus. Several KU students shared their opinions on Wednesday.
I feel like you had good intentions, but you said it just the wrong way, and that just really sucks. And it was also recorded, and now like that you have evidence of that. That's just, it's not good.
Well, I think the violence part was not okay, but I feel like they're using it as like fuel to the flame to like be against Kamala.
It's a little messed up. Shouldn't really say that at all. The people choose who they want to vote for either way. Don't want to vote for someone, that's their choice, but you shouldn't line up and shoot them. It's not good at all.
I think there's no place for violence anywhere based on anybody's political views. I think that it was a horrible video, and I never want to see anything like that ever again.
That everybody's entitled to their own opinion and their own, obviously, political beliefs, but I do think there is a time and place to say those, and on the clock in the classroom with over 100 students might not be that.
KU responded with a statement on Instagram. Lowcock is being placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. He offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation.
It's been a pretty nice and sunny morning, but it is really starting to warm up outside. Sam Hansen is here to tell us a little more about today's forecast. Sam?
Thank you, Kara. Our camera here in Lawrence is still dirty, so we're going to look at Manhattan for one more time today. Clear skies, same story here in Lawrence. We're at 76 degrees with winds out of the south at 7 miles an hour. Furthermore, the heat index right now is at 79 degrees, dew point's at 50, humidity at 42%, and the pressure is rising. Through the afternoon today, we'll warm up into the mid-80s, topping out around 86 come 3 p.m., with the clear skies sticking with us. Coming up in a little bit, I will give you a recap of Hurricane Milton. A cool down is on the way for early next week, and I'll give you an update on the drought conditions as we've not had any measurable rainfall here in Lawrence in over 2 weeks. Back to you.
Thanks, Sam. Even though we've had a warm weekend ahead, I'm sure everyone is looking forward to those cooler fall temperatures coming next week.
While thousands of KU fans gather at the football stadium for games, they may not know that they are also visiting a memorial for fallen Jayhawks. The stadium isn't the only war memorial on campus. KUJH's Prescott Deckinger tells us more.
For over a decade, thousands of passionate Jayhawk fans have trekked through Memorial Drive to attend games at David Booth Memorial Stadium. However, many don't realize the hidden history and moving memorials they pass on the W-shaped street.
Sitting near West Campus Road, the Vietnam War Memorial is the first remembrance students pass.
KU was the first American university to add a Vietnam War Memorial commemorating those who fought in America's longest war.
Next is the Korean War Memorial, and its unique design of intertwining cranes represents peace, birth, and happiness.
It honors the 60 KU students, faculty, and staff who died during the conflict.
Towering in the middle of Memorial Drive is the Campanile.
The Campanile's 53 bells ring out for the 277 KU men and women who gave their lives in World War II.
The Victory Eagle depicts a female bald eagle defending her young.
It is dedicated to the citizens of Douglas County who gave the supreme sacrifice during the fight in World War I.
The Kansas Memorial Union is located at the end of Memorial Drive on Mississippi Street.
Dedicated on April 20th, 1926, it is a tribute to the 129 KU students and alumni who died during the First World War.
And last but not least, David Booth Memorial Stadium. This was the first memorial dedicated to KU's campus, and some students don't even know it's a World War I memorial.
I walk by the stadium every single night, and I never even knew it was a memorial.
Preserving the stadium's decade-long history as a war memorial was a top priority for the architects behind its new design.
I think kind of retaining the history of, of the university as a whole and of those individuals that served is a really important and powerful story.
Students and fans will have a chance to view the stadium in a different light when its construction is finally completed. For KUJH News, I'm Prescott Deckinger.
The first phase of the stadium's construction is expected to be completed in August of 2025. When Jayhawk fans rush back to watch KU football, they'll be greeted with an immersive memorial experience.
Tailgating was in full swing as thousands of fans filled Arrowhead Stadium for the Monday night football game against the Saints. While the parking lot was a party atmosphere with fans sporting their red and gold, another scene was playing out just outside of the stadium. Millie Favela traveled to Kansas City to learn more about Not in Our Honor, an organization dedicated to putting an end to what they say is the Chiefs' harmful depictions and appropriation of Indigenous culture.
For years, images of Indigenous people and culture have been used to define sporting teams. The Seminoles of Florida State University, the former Cleveland Indians, and one Kansas City organization, the Chiefs. Since its debut in 2005, Not in Our Honor has advocated against using symbols, images, and personalities derived from Indigenous culture in sports. Rhonda Lavaldo, a founder of Not in Our Honor, hopes to educate football fans through civil protests. These stereotypical representations of the Indigenous community are often justified by claiming to honor Native peoples, but Lavaldo doesn't feel honored.
It's putting us in the past sense, and so we're no longer here. And so you're already making that use of that stereotype and diminishing Native American. When we're here, we're part of this community.
For the most part, it was a great night for the organization to share their message. But as it got closer to kickoff and more fans filed into the stadium, supporters and opponents alike became increasingly more vocal.
Even 20 years after the American Psychological Association called for the eradication of these depictions, Galen Krauser, the executive director of the Kansas City Indian Center, continues to speak about the harmful impacts of cultural appropriation.
We know from the research that it's
The first phase of the stadium's construction is expected to be completed in August of 2025. When Jayhawk fans rush back to watch KU football, they'll be greeted with an immersive memorial experience.
Tailgating was in full swing as thousands of fans filled Arrowhead Stadium for the Monday night football game against the Saints. While the parking lot was a party atmosphere with fans sporting their red and gold, another scene was playing out just outside of the stadium. Millie Favela traveled to Kansas City to learn more about Not in Our Honor, an organization dedicated to putting an end to what they say is the Chiefs' harmful depictions and appropriation of Indigenous culture.
For years, images of Indigenous people and culture have been used to define sporting teams. The Seminoles of Florida State University, the former Cleveland Indians, and one Kansas City organization, the Chiefs. Since its debut in 2005, Not in Our Honor has advocated against using symbols, images, and personalities derived from Indigenous culture in sports. Rhonda Lavaldo, a founder of Not in Our Honor, hopes to educate football fans through civil protests. These stereotypical representations of the Indigenous community are often justified by claiming to honor Native peoples, but Lavaldo doesn't feel honored.
It's putting us in the past sense, and so we're no longer here. And so you're already making that use of that stereotype and diminishing Native American. When we're here, we're part of this community.
For the most part, it was a great night for the organization to share their message. But as it got closer to kickoff and more fans filed into the stadium, supporters and opponents alike became increasingly more vocal.
Even 20 years after the American Psychological Association called for the eradication of these depictions, Galen Krauser, the executive director of the Kansas City Indian Center, continues to speak about the harmful impacts of cultural appropriation.
We know from the research that it's harmful, that it increases implicit and explicit bias and increases racism against not just Native people, but all minority people. So we absolutely have to say something. Because if we don't, then who's going to?
Not in Our Honor is calling for the Kansas City football team to change its name, imagery, and branding to one that is more inclusive. Krauser hopes to see a future where all Kansas Cityans can support the sports team without compromising their cultural heritage. For KUJH News, I'm Millie Favela.
This is a complex topic that has been at the heart of many heated debates throughout the years. If you wish to sign the petition against harmful mascotting, make sure to head over to KUJHnews.com.
Your emergency response times have been growing. To fix this, a mobile integrated health team has been added. This team identifies frequent 911 callers trying to find the root of the problem and providing help to lower call volumes. Courtney Simanowitz, a paramedic on the team, shares more about the day-to-day.
Day-to-day, we do scheduled visits. We'll usually call a patient. We identify the needs. We see, okay, we went to this address X amount of times. And so we'll pull that data and then we'll make contact with them to see if they even want our services. We'll explain to the patient what we do. And a lot of times they engage. There's a trust that comes with being a part of the fire department.
This program started in December with hopes to expand. There are currently 5 teams in Kansas and there are hundreds nationwide.
Construction is underway for a new Chabad house with hopes of creating a warm and welcoming environment for students.
And a new bar at the Student Union is working to create another social space on campus.
Students, faculty, staff, the general public are able to come together, connect, find something that they find in common.
Up next, see the Category 3 hurricane that crashed into Florida on Wednesday.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back. Last night, the East Coast suffered a Category 3 hurricane, their second major storm over the couple of weeks.
Hurricane Milton affected several major cities across Florida, such as Tampa Bay, Fort Myers, Orlando, and Jacksonville. Tampa Bay called for a city evacuation on Tuesday, causing millions of people to leave their homes for safety. Scott Meyer of Trinity, Florida, sent video to KUJH News showing Milton's impact.
About 55 right now. About 75, 80. It's so crazy out here. It's getting nautical.
Milton hit land as a Category 3 and continues to weaken as it makes its way through Florida. Milton spurred multiple tornadoes throughout the state before hitting near Sarasota. As of right now, there are over 3.2 million homes and businesses are without power, according to poweroutage.us.com, which tracks utility reports.
Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, has been badly damaged with the roof being ripped off. It was slated to provide shelter for many first responders who were not there when the damage happened. According to AP News, officials in the hard-hit counties of Hillsborough, Pinellas, Sarasota, and Lee urge people to stay home today, warning for downed power lines, trees and roads, blocked bridges, and flooding.
4 deaths have been confirmed. Sam Hansen is here to give us more information about the hurricane.
Yes, thank you. Now, the saving grace for Florida was that the hurricane weakened considerably as it approached Florida from a Cat 5 when it was on Tuesday to a Category 3 yesterday, as it encountered a lot of wind shear as it approached the west coast. Now, again, the wind, as you mentioned, it did knock off the roof of the Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay, and the wind shear combined with the rotation of the hurricane primed the atmosphere to produce numerous tornadoes that were observed yesterday. And the storm surge of up to 13 feet near Sarasota and areas at and south of there also was the major impact, along with the heavy rainfall. As you said, Hurricane Milton is now a Category 1 hurricane, weakening rapidly as it now is in the Atlantic. Moving off to our east, it will not affect the U.S. any further. Looking back more toward us here in Lawrence, well, a lot more boring here. A couple of clouds just to the south and off to our west. And then temperature-wise, we're looking at 77 out in Topeka, 78 down in Osage, 77 as well here in Lawrence, and cooler up in KC at 74 degrees. As we head into this evening, come 4 p.m., it'll be 85, 6 p.m., 82, cooling off into the mid-60s come 10 p.m. with the clear skies still prevailing overhead. Through the day tomorrow, just a light jacket tomorrow morning is all you'll need, be at 54 degrees at 7 a.m. Very similar to today temperature-wise, warm up into the mid-upper 80s come tomorrow afternoon. Again, not many clouds in the sky to speak of at all. For the weekend, Saturday will be a similar story. A touch warmer, could break 90. Then Sunday, again, much cooler, 75, some clouds. I love to see it. And a lot of that should continue as we get into the early parts of next week. As will be at 65 on Monday, 66 Tuesday, some great relief after the warmer temperatures we've been having for the last really 2 to 3 weeks, or really all September, start of October as a whole. And temperature-wise for lows, we may get close to freezing Monday night into Tuesday, but should stay slightly above it at around 35 degrees. Back to you.
The dry, warm weather here in Lawrence has been great for construction projects around town. I headed over to 19th Street at the Chabad House to learn more about the new renovations taking place. Following the 2023-24 school year, the Chabad House on 19th Street has been taken down along with the house next door so that a brand new and improved Chabad House can replace it.
Yeah, I think it will be nice just to have a much bigger space. They tore down their previous space plus the house that was next to them, so they're going to have a much larger space, which I think will be very accommodating.
Starting with 4 students over for dinner in a small little duplex to a 10,000 square foot building with multiple resources, the Jewish community at KU will provide a warm and welcoming feeling to all students on campus.
This is going to be something that's going to transform the landscape of Jewish life at KU. Not only is it going to be a space that has so much room, it's going to have a big sanctuary, a place where you could pray, a place where you could gather for dinner and celebration, a lounge, a library, dedicated mental health space, and a kosher kitchen, the first one in this entire city.
Just 2 weeks ago, the construction for the new renovations have started, and the current plan is to have it completed in 12 to 15 months. While the renovations are in progress, the temporary center is located on the corner of 23rd and Louisiana across the street from Walgreens. You can also join them at lunch at the Union every Tuesday from 12 to 1, which all are welcome to talk, learn, and study about the Jewish faith.
We're looking forward to every single student knowing they have a safe place to go and to call home. Everyone should come and feel like, I've got a place in this building.
For KUJH News, I'm Kara Lyons. I can't wait to see when the renovations are done in the near future. You can follow them on Instagram at KU Chabad or visit jewishku.com to stay connected with them.
KU released an email announcing that various certificates and programs will be discontinued after this school year. KUJH's Cameron McCrory spoke to professors in these programs to find out how these decisions are made and what they mean for students.
Discontinuing a program might sound controversial at first, but this is actually a standard practice by the university in order to better allocate resources and time to students.
This isn't a bad thing. This is just what happens, you know. Students just don't get excited by things, but then they get excited by other things.
Professor Lamb said that the university and state assess a program's viability by looking at its enrollment and graduation numbers. 10 certificates and 1 degree are currently in question, with low enrollment as the primary cause. The Bachelor of Science in Physical Education is one of them.
We have low enrollment within our program, and the state kind of monitors for programs like that, and they give the university a choice at some point to either merge into another major or to just discontinue.
This program will live on just as a concentration of the curriculum and teaching degree in the School of Education, a change that actually comes as a benefit to those students.
Some of the classes that curriculum and teaching that we're merging into the physical education program are really some good classes that are going to help students to just be more well-rounded teachers.
A number of certificates in the English department are on the chopping block for the same reason, but Professor Lamb says this is a decision that needed to happen.
We actually have so many students who major and minor in English that we actually don't funnel many students through those certificate programs. So in the end, they're just kind of there languishing.
Discontinuing these certificates allows professors to focus more time and energy on higher populated classes. For KUJH News, I'm Cameron McCrory.
The University Faculty Senate has held multiple meetings to hear public comment on these changes. In the coming months, they will hold a meeting for a final vote on these discontinuances, and which will be open to all students and staff. The Kansas Memorial Union added a new addition to its first floor in hopes to create a fun environment for everyone to enjoy in the evening. KUJH reporter Sydney Clark joins us live outside the Hawk's Nest with more on this new space. Sydney?
Yeah, thanks, Kara. I'm here outside the KU Union where the Hawk's Nest is located here on the first floor. It's a new bar that opened up this past semester in the Union where students, faculty, and staff can come and enjoy a fun Jayhawk environment. The Hawk's Nest, KU's first on-campus bar. It was an idea put into action last March and opened this past August. A bar space within the Union that offers food, alcoholic drinks, and even non-alcoholic ones for people to enjoy. With Kansas football playing their games at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, this space is another opportunity for students to cheer on the Jayhawks.
So we recognize with no football being on campus what the opportunities are for weekend engagement with students. I understand with football, I mean, it's 6 opportunities for engagement, but right, what are students going to do if they're not able to make it to the game or they don't really care about football, whatever it may be.
Now Myers said they are still working on spreading the message to increase community engagement. The bar offers different games and deals with drinks ranging from $4 to $6 with a max of 5 drinks per person.
Really hoping it's a space where students, faculty, staff, the general public are able to come together, connect, find something that they find in common, either via trivia night, karaoke, all of the things, just a different opportunity for people to connect on campus in a more chill, but still on campus vibe.
The Hawk's Nest is open Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 4 to 7 p.m. You can enjoy special deals including Wine Wednesdays and Karaoke Fridays, as well as seasonal promotions. Reporting live outside the KU Union, I'm Sydney Clark. Kara?
Thanks, Sydney. A bar at the Union is a great new addition to the historic building. Karaoke Fridays will most definitely be a hit for both students and faculty.
Next on sports, we ask students who they think will bring home the World Series trophy at the end of October. And we take a deeper look into KU's esports team with our very own Millie Favela. All of that after the break.
National champions deserve a clean campus. Don't wait for other Jayhawks to pick up your mess. Keep the University of Kansas clean.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. I'm Millie Favela, back with your weekly update of all things sports. Let's start with a topic we can't ignore. With KU football being 1-5 this season compared to their overall record of 9-4 last season, it's only fair to wonder what is happening with the team and why the Jayhawks can't secure a win. If we look at Jalen Daniels, we can see that he has thrown the most interceptions this year than any other season at KU. Currently sitting at 8, it's not bad, but Daniels is only completing passes 54% of the time, and it looks like he still needs to figure out his groove. The Jayhawks also receive an average of 47 yards per game in penalties. A lot of yardage is being wasted due to self-inflicted wounds that keep pushing them back. The team also can't seem to keep their lead throughout the entirety of the game. Take their most recent match against Arizona State, for example. The Jayhawks were leading 31-28 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, but gave up a 3-yard touchdown pass with 16 seconds left in the game. The defense is on the field quite a bit, and it seems that they are gassing out towards the end of games. What will happen with the rest of the season is uncertain, but we will see if the Jayhawks can pull off a much-needed win against Houston on Saturday, October 19th at Arrowhead Stadium. Royals fell to the Yankees last night 3-2, giving the Yankees a 2-1 lead heading into Game 4 tonight at 7:08 p.m. However, not every Kansas student at the University of Kansas are Royal fans. KUJH's Caleb Kalsich went to Jayhawk Boulevard to ask students who they think will win the World Series.
Throughout the year. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, a high fly ball to right field. This one is gone up.
First time up. Through the hole, another base hit. Here comes Pham around third.
Thanks, Caleb. Hopefully the Chiefs and the Rockies can have some tricks up their sleeves and can fulfill students' hopes of bringing home the World Series. In the other games last night, the Tigers beat the Guardians to extend their series lead 2-1. The Mets beat the Phillies and advanced to the NLCS, and the Dodgers forced a Game 5 on Friday after beating the Padres. We've covered a lot of KU volleyball here, but for good reason. The Jayhawks keep raking in W's and are 12-1 this season. We saw them last week beat the Colorado Buffaloes 3-1 away, and tomorrow they will face off against West Virginia in Morgantown. The last time these teams met was October of last year, and the Jayhawks came out victorious. They have won the last 4 matchups against. Some of the top stats for the Jayhawks so far this season include their offensive attack, which includes 643 kills, 609 assists, and averages 14.6 kills per set. Their defense is also powerful with 112 blocks and 654 digs so far this season. If you want to see the Jayhawks tomorrow against the Mountaineers, you can tune in at 6 p.m. on ESPN+. With the weather cooling down a little bit, it's the perfect time to get on the course and play a round of 18. The men's and women's golf team are having great starts to their preseason matches. Starting with the men, the team finished 4th in Big 12 match play at the club at Houston Oaks. With the tournament being pool play, the Jayhawks started off by beating second-ranked Oklahoma State, then played Arizona State and lost 3-2. 3 days of play for the men have them in a good spot for their next match against Ole Miss in Biloxi, Mississippi. The women's team is also starting on a great note, winning the Maryland Smith Invitational here in Lawrence. They finished 6th under par against teams like Missouri, Cincinnati, and Fresno State. Johanna Ebner finished with the best score for the Jayhawks, finishing 3 under par. The women will compete next week at Paradise Island in the Bahamas for the White Sands Bahamas Fall Invitational. I'm pretty jealous about that. There's nothing better than competing for KU on a beautiful island. As technology continues to advance, so does our access to sports. But some students are finding their community in the blend of sports and gaming, otherwise known as esports. I headed out to the Union to learn more.
Most people don't associate women with esports, but female gamers are increasing. According to the Entertainment Software Association, 46% of the U.S. gaming population identifies as female. As technology continues to dominate our everyday lives, it's evident that people, especially online gamers, are interacting with others through non-conventional mediums, but this can be difficult for female gamers. Maddie Weddle, a sophomore on KU's Overwatch team, notes the struggles she faces as a female gamer.
There's games that it's worse on, but Overwatch has always been pretty okay with it. I don't feel scared to talk to random people. But when I do play other games, it is intimidating to talk in a voice chat because it's again, you have a bunch of guys.
According to a recent Astrum Entertainment study, over half of female gamers have been victims of gender discrimination in games. Female gamers have cited several examples of the discrimination they face. Unfortunately, Minji Crouch, a sophomore on KU's Valorant team, has been a victim of discrimination in the past.
There's so many opinions towards women being involved in anything, sports, jobs, work, school, video games. It's really hard to get past, but I feel once you do, you become kind of stronger, but it's also I shouldn't have to be strong because of that.
The possibility of being the only girl at tryouts left Crouch and Weddle nervous, but they felt at ease when they saw advertisements that included a female.
Honestly, seeing that was very comforting because it was yes, it's mostly men, but there is a girl there.
Weddle and Crouch feel that the KU esports environment is a welcoming one where they can let their guard down. They also agree that more female representation in esports is needed for their presence to be destigmatized. For KUJH Sports, I'm Millie Favela.
For more information about KU's esports programs, head over to esports.ku.edu. Thanks for tuning in to KUJH Sports. After the break, Sam will be back to tell us about the upcoming forecast at the Royals game.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Welcome back. Starbucks and scooters are now not the only places to get coffee in Lawrence. There are 2 new coffee shops in town, and there's something for everyone.
A brand new coffee shop opened in Lawrence this fall. Located on 23rd Street, 151 is the home for a variety of different kinds of drinks, but they are most known for their welcoming environment and everyone involved.
The people aspect, whether that's the customers that I get to interact with, getting to know their name, getting to be part of like their day and just their lifestyle in general. The team is amazing, and those above me really fuel me to do the best that I can be.
The 151 atmosphere may look a little different compared to other coffee shops. With their 2-lane drive-through and outdoor seating, 151 is perfect for on the go or for meeting a friend.
Yeah, it's so cute, like sitting out here too. I love it. The menu is so unique, so I really like it here.
151 officially opened on September 11th and has been buzzing with business ever since. They have a lot of different kinds of drinks on their menu, including this tropical sunrise energy drink. I'm already feeling energized. 151 Coffee Shop has one motto that they take pride in.
We're all about being fast, fun, and friendly. Those are our 3 Fs. Just basically taking that extra step of like more than just caffeinating somebody, but like creating a whole experience for them, because we see them at the start of their day, and that's kind of like how you set the tone for people. So just going above and beyond for who we have.
With over 50 different kinds of drinks, 151 has something for everyone. For KUJH News, I'm Lindsay Ryan.
The coffee shop got its name from what they say is the best temperature to steam milk at, 150 degrees, but the shop thought 151 sounded better. 151 is open from 7 a.m. to midnight, and it is the only coffee shop in Lawrence open past 8 p.m.
It's good to see so many new coffee shops around Lawrence. Francesca, what's your favorite?
I am definitely partial to 1900 Barker, or Uplift.
Okay, yeah, Uplift is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, no, I have not been able to try 151 yet, but I am excited to.
Me as well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sam is back to give us a final look at the weather and showing us what we can expect at Saturday's Royals game.
Yes, thank you very much. If you're heading out to Kauffman Stadium for Game 4 tonight, Yankees at Royals, it'll be a beautiful night for baseball. 78 degrees at first pitch, and then if the Royals win that game, come Saturday, be Game 5 back in New York. Be a bit cool, 63 degrees. Clear skies at both, no chances of rain for either games coming up. Now again, we have not had any measurable rainfall here in Lawrence for over 2 weeks, leading to us being in the moderate drought category. Regions in further southeast Kansas and up north central are in a severe drought, but it doesn't look like we'll get any rain through the next 7 days, unfortunately. Warmer conditions for today, tomorrow, and Saturday, but then we cool back down nicely as we head into next week. The temperatures in the mid-60s, but good news though, there is a chance of rain for not this weekend, but next weekend, so hopefully we get some from that. Back to you.
Thanks, Sam. Well, that's all we have for you this morning. Check out KUJH on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram for exclusive content, and keep up to date on the latest stories at KUJHnews.com. I'm Kara Lyons.
And I'm Francesca Nofrio. KUJH News will be back next Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Have a great day.